In this section, we're going to have a look at it, how to add unavailability. So what we mean by unavailability, it means that adding the annual leave, sickness, study leave, maternity leave, paternity leave, any other type of leave that is falling into the category of unavailability. So um, we always encourage staff members to request their annual leave through Employee Online, and any other type of leave that is available there. We always encourage them to do it through that way, but in some cases it's not possible. They can also not request the annual leave that is in the past. So in that case, the department or ward will have to add that onto the system directly. Now, to do that, what they need to do is find the person. So we're gonna have a look at it, Maria here. I will always advise put the name at the top and hit the enter button or little magnifying glass to get the person in the view. So if you are notified that Maria's taken 3 days annual leave, that is not actually reflecting on the roster. So to do that, what you can do is you can click on the day that the annual leave is starting or any unavailability. If there is sickness there or any other type of leave that you need to enter, you can enter it here. So you click on the day that the period is starting. So in this case, we're going to have a look at it 17th. So we click on the 17th by left clicking on the mouse, then right click on it, and we will see add an availability option. So you click on add an availability option, and here you will see a few options there. So under annual leave, it's annual leave always or bank holiday. So you click on annual leave. So when you select the one day, it always comes up as 1 day. If you do need to increase the period, you can always do 2, 3, 4 days, 5 days, or you can do it by here. And you can see that the date will change. You can always click on the little calendar option and change it too. So that's up to you. Sometime what we have noticed, it doesn't happen quite often, but it does happen sometime with some employees that when they request annual leave, instead of coming up to their hours, it coming up as 00 hours or not the correct hours. And if that happens, you can double click on it and amend the hours to say, okay, this person's working 9 hours on the day, and then 9:30 on this day. Then again, 9 hours. And doesn't work on Friday. So you can manually amend the hours by double click on the hours and do it. Normally it's automatic, but it does happen. We have noticed that in few cases it has happened. So if you come across any of that sort of issues, you can always go in there and amend the hours there. If there is a sickness that is allowed there, then you can add the sickness there. And here we have some sub options that you need to select based on the sickness. So let's say that there was an injury. Um, Also, what we do advise is that when you add the sickness, you always tick the open end box. That will allow you to amend the sickness anytime in future when the sickness is closing, but it will also help you to get the data correctly um, sent to the payroll and also on the exchange. So please make sure that you do select the option of open-ended sickness. If you do need to add the secondary reason, you can add that secondary reason. If you are If it's medically certified, you can select medically certified option. Is work-related injury, you can do that one. If it's return to work, then you can just tick that box there, and then you need to add the date there. Now, as I mentioned previously, that tick the open-ended box. It's not visible here because we are adding here as in the past. So if today is 25th of October, if I change that, say, okay, the sickness is now ending on 27th. So as soon as I hit the date in the future, the box will come up here. I can tick on it. And what it will do is that it will gradually increase the sickness day by day. So up to 27th, it will go. On 28th, the sickness will extend again for next day. On 29th, again, it will extend for the next day. So if you have a medical exemption or something like that one, you can put the date up until that, but keep the open-ended box always there. If you need to add study leave, you can add study leave by selecting the options. There are plenty of that. Parenting will give you an option to add maternity, paternity, keep in touch days, adoption leave, sort of that one. Working day is mostly when the people are on training, way day, and other sort of reasons. If you do want to add that onto your rosters, you can do that way. That is to specify that what the person is doing specifically on that day, that they were working, but they were probably interviewing or in meeting, which is part of their job. So, yeah, that is just to specify the type of work that they're doing. You don't really have to, but if you want to, you can do it there. The option's there. Under the other leave, it's mostly the career break and unpaid leave, paid leave, authorized unpaid leave, and paid leave if the staff goes on strike. That is the option is there too. Jury service, medical suspension, um, and the phased return as well. So that option is there. Unknown, we normally don't advise anybody to use it, but if you do need to use it, then please do let us know. And there is a note there as well that you can add a little note there for all type of things, especially for sickness and that sort of things. You probably will be helpful if you do need to add a note. You can add a note there. Yeah, so that's how you add the unavailability. If you see this message to say that that is there because I think we've got some duties finalized there. So I'm going to go back on, say, 24th of September. And it will go. And so that's how you add the unavailability on the system.